interesting session with none other than Sheila Chaman, one of the doyens of the Doordarshan era, the golden era of Doordarshan. So, ma'am, my first thing is that, all these years, yeah, keep your book. In all these years, you've interviewed hundreds of celebrities, actors, leaders. So today, and I say this with a sense of great glee, you're on the receiving end. How does it feel?
Well, thank you very much. Firstly, I'm very honored to be here, and I must thank Ms. Mishra and all the organizers of the festival for inviting me. My former Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Manish Tiwari, spoke so well, so I hope I will be approved on this platform as well. Honestly, this has been a wonderful journey, 30 years with television, with Doordarshan, in various capacities, and of course the news bug got to me. I then became a news anchor and thereafter trainer. And having interviewed some very important, well-known personalities from all over the world, to be on the other side seems extremely exciting, a little unnerving, because you never know what questions are going to be thrown at you. We are not prepared for this, but if you know your subject, then I don't think it really matters.
I do not see you ever being unprepared, ma'am. That can never happen. So I quickly want to go over the story behind the book. What was it that first inspired you to write the book? And was it always meant to capture Doordarshan's legacy, or did that emerge as you spoke to people?
I was approached by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to author a book on the transition and transformation of this great mother channel of all channels, Doordarshan, because we worked during the black and white era, and how the transition and transformation took place. I was the first one to face the camera when the medium went live, color and national on 15th August 1982. So the authorities approached me, the ministry approached me to author this book in 2021. And then I thought to myself that such a vast organization cannot be represented and put together by one person, no matter how well you worked with every department. So I went down memory lane, contacted all my old colleagues, friends from production, presentation, engineering, and of course Krishi Darshan was very important, and news editing, news programming, etc., etc. And also the digitization of the intellectual property. All the tapes that were there were digitized by Ms. Kamalini Dutt, who was also in charge of doing the program, national program of music and dance. So I contacted all these people, and there are 11 of us who have finally written this book. And this is a piece of nostalgia that takes you back in time, and a piece of history, because it tells you what a lot of people didn't know about the medium, about Doordarshan, how it came about, and all that went into it during the black and white era. And what you see today, all the hi-fi, is not how it was earlier. Can I have this? Isko thoda tone bass karenge, please? Tone bass kariye. Tone bass, yeah, little high, volume high. Can you hear me at the end? Can you hear me clearly? Thoda aur loud kariye. Can you hear me clearly? Yes, thank you.
See, that's the advantage of having a professional share your space with you. You don't have to do anything. Aap aaram se baithe, Sheila ji kar rahi hain sab kuch. So, Sheila ji, how did you bring these 11 Doordarshan professionals? They were anchors, they're directors, they're technicians, makeup artists, to share their stories. And what was that process like? Because 11 people, getting them on a, getting them to share their stories, it's very difficult, I would think. How did you do that?
You see, जो हम देखते हैं वो वैसा नहीं होता है. बहुत कुछ, every single program that you watch on television today on any channel has about 100 people, believe me, about 100 people behind every program. आजकल हम बैठ के चैनल चेंज कर देते हैं, टिक ये ठीक नहीं है, टिक इसको हटा लो, टिक. Honestly, every program, whether you like it or not, whether it's news, sports, serial, or anything that you're watching on television, has about 100 people behind it, from script to concept, from its concept to scripting to putting it out on the screen, the artists, the camera person, the light person, the spot boy. It's amazing how interesting it is to see a program being made and put out on air. So when I was approached, as I said, by the ministry, कि आप एक author करिए इस पुस्तक को, because you worked in almost every department. So I said, I contacted my friends, colleagues, seniors, juniors from 20 years ago. They were a little surprised to hear from me. And I said, आपकी इतनी expertise है, like Mr. Lu, he's written for the book. The engineer who was there when the equipment came from the BBC and the black and white had to be Indianized and acclimatized to Indian standards to make it workable for Indian television. So he's mentioned in the book कि उनके जो cables आए थे, बड़ी sophisticated cameras, ये वो, and of course we had great lighting. We had we could wear our colored saris, because earlier it was only black, white and grey, वगैरह वगैरह. So he's written, he says, जब उनका वो equipment आया, वो तो on ही नहीं हो रहा था. And when we put it into the plug, it just wouldn't go on. So he says, we had about 30 minutes only before the telecast, the first telecast. So he says, what we did was, we picked a few holes in the cable, joint our cable, and the BBC engineers looked aghast. You can't do that. He says, well, चल रहा है ना?
Indian jugaad.
This is India. हमने जुगाड़ कर लिया. We do जुगाड़. As long as it works, it goes.
चल पड़ा ना, that's the main thing.
जी.
अच्छा, जब हम छोटे तो नहीं, मतलब when we were growing up, I mean we've actually just grown up. Many of us are the generation that's actually grown up with DD and with all of you. So, you know, so a friend of mine contacted me on Facebook once, and he said, I am so-and-so, Atul, just take a name. And I said, Atul, who, kaun sa Atul? I could not place him. And he said, मैं ना तुम्हारे घर आया करता था, और हम जब चित्रहार देखते थे, मैं पलंग के नीचे बैठ के मैं था जो देखा करता था. So it was, you know, time when a lot of families would get together, and you know how they used to gather around the Doordarshan screen. But today, with hundreds of channels and endless on-demand content, what do you think we've lost in the shift from the shared experience to an individual algorithm-driven one?
I won't say lost, but a lot of that bhaichara and camaraderie and bonding and openness, of course, as you just mentioned. I remember Sunday mornings, not everyone had a television set. No. And it was arranged that इस line में, हमारी इस lane में, फलाने Mr. Sharma के घर एक TV है, तो हम 9 बजे सुबह अपना पराठा वगैरह लेकर के उनके यहाँ जाएंगे. And everyone would sit आराम से on the floor, and TV was on, and any chore could come, and it happened.
Yes.
That houses got robbed and thieves were on the run because everyone was watching Ramayana or Mahabharata on the television and watching it together.
Yeah.
So that is one. And with the kind of programs that are coming on, of course the ministry tried a lot to put curbs, you know, to give them guidelines on what to put out and what not to put out. I think I was also a member of the CBFC, the Film Censor Board, for 2 terms. It's very difficult to give them any moral strictures unless implemented very stringently with punishments.
With punishments?
With punishments, absolutely. And it has to be done because now what we are seeing, and you can't control what you can see on your reels. The fashion, the latest thing is, hardly anyone watches television, I think. Everyone's into reels and into जो 1.5 घंटे में आप देखते थे या दिखाते थे, आज लोग चाहते हैं कि 3 या 4 मिनट में या 1.5 मिनट में आप एक रील बना के उसे बताएं. One thing, we are all what we are because of Doordarshan, I must tell you.
Yes.
Most of us so-called celebrities who got seen And because of the visibility, we got a lot of opportunities. At least I was picked up by Kalyanji Anandji to do their shows, and then with Amitabh Bachchan, and you name the stars, and I worked with them. And I was the only one who was talking to the audience. Everyone would come, shake a leg. Sridevi came, did her no chudiyan wala dance and went away. Amit ji came and went. Everyone, you know, it's like you're the only one as MC who is interacting with the audience, who is talking to the audience.
Right.
You're the only one who is the bond between the audience and the stars.
Right.
So I got picked up because of the visibility. And coming to training, Doordarshan taught us a lot of things. To be calm, cool, composed, collected. It gave us memory training because हमारे ज़माने में, हमारे time में ये auto cue वगैरह नहीं था. Every single thing, if I am speaking in front of the camera, नमस्कार. आइए आपको आज के कार्यक्रम से अवगत करा दें. अब से कुछ ही देर में हम देखेंगे कार्यक्रम ये, जिसमें हम देखने वाले हैं ये. उसके बाद ये कार्यक्रम होगा और उसके बाद ये और ये और ये. And if you've forgotten कि 9 बजे क्या आने वाला है, and you're looking into the camera and you're going on with your script, you've had it.
तो इस तरह के कोई इंस्टेंस हुए थे क्या कि कब आप भूल गई या इस तरह से?
There's no forgiving.
अच्छा.
Suspension for 3 weeks.
Wow,
So,
okay.
शीला चमन को सस्पेंड कर दो, वो भूल गई.
तो हुआ था ऐसा?
बिल्कुल, हमेशा.
अच्छा.
Gitanjali Iyer, my good friend, she forgot something on, I mean, she mispronounced something or something went on the air, and she just suspension for 3 weeks. I'll also tell you something about a piece of paper that came to me now that you've touched the raw nerve.
Right.
But let me finish with the good points first. So एक तो memory training था, you had to, and then weekends पे we used to have these films from the North and South India, and South Indian words, names are so tongue twisting. So पहली बात तो आपको हीरोइन का नाम याद करना, हीरो का नाम याद करना, फिर वो कहाँ कहाँ गए, उन्होंने क्या किया, फिर वो कहानी क्या थी, फिर उनकी बेटी गुजर गई, फिर ये हुआ, फिर वो हुआ. If you've forgotten the storyline yourself, and you're out there telling everyone about this Malayalam story that's coming on, you've had it. So while the makeup man would do the makeup, और हमने अपनी script तैयार की, we would go on repeating that same lines like children do in the nursery class, or in the younger classrooms, and till वो बैठ जाए आपके दिमाग में, and then you go in front of the camera and the floor manager says go, and you're on, and your mind is thinking इसके बाद क्या आता है, and when it's gone on the air flawlessly, without any problems, without any forgetting any word or line, you've done it. Memory training was another. And of course, if you made a mistake for some reason, you could always say, we are sorry, maaf kijiye. So that's how we got over.
That didn't happen
To forgive
often.
is human. To err is human, to forgive divine. So we were very divine about matters.
Okay. Achha, ma'am, you must have covered many national events, through your long career. So elections ho gaye, national events ho gaye, major breaking news. Would you like to name some of the things that happened during your career? And was there a defining moment that impacted your career, or that influenced you as a news reader, or changed your path in any way?
It didn't change anybody's path, or it didn't change anything, but there were moments when we had to be a little vigilant. We had to make sure that we made no mistakes. That was every day. Every bulletin had its own sanctity. But there were times when something special was going on, and not only national, even international events. Dam, Chogam, we were all part of the international events. So we had to make sure that everything went without a flaw. And we were carrying the flag of the entire nation, or an entire program like this program. If there were programs that were being telecast live as things happen. So if there is an interruption or a VIP entering, as you just saw, some flurry of activity, koi ja raha hai, koi aa raha hai, to you have to carry on as if nothing is happening. Kabhi piche se you have sweat down your back and you're reading the news and it's terribly hot. That's okay. You have a bulb going off and both the lights are on, one bulb goes off, but you're continuing to read like nothing matters. You're looking into the camera and you're reading the news, and then there's a rat that goes over your foot, and then you do this, but you don't scream. Well, it's all part of the game. The show must go on.
So, ma'am,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the appreciation. So now you know what we all went through.
So you wrote in one, in a part of the book that before Doordarshan transitioned to color,
Yes.
and then you got air-conditioned rooms and everything became very swanky. Before that, there was like you could be sweating, you could be having a really hard time. So tell us a little bit about that, the difficult times, and then the transition, and how did that happen?
Everyone who goes in front of the television camera has to have pancake makeup. That pancake makeup is water-based. It's literally like tuna. It's water-based, and you have different shades to darken and light, and because you're on television, the TV camera is very, very sensitive. Any portion that is not covered by that pancake and then powder on it, which means you're literally like, going in for a chicken baked wo tandoor mein jo jata hai na, uske upar jo aap lagate ho itna sara. So it was like that. We had all this pancake makeup and then 1,000-watt bulbs, and we literally felt baked. And everyone had bad skins those days. And to remove that makeup, we had to have either coconut oil or glycerine or Vaseline, really something strong to remove that. So during the black and white era, that makeup was very stark because it was only black and white and grey. So lipstick was dark, makeup was dark, rouge was dark, the lights were harsher, and the sweat was bad. I mean, we really were sweating all the time in the studios, despite the ACs. When we transited from black and white to color, the cameras were bigger, and they came down lower. The lights, as I said, were lighter, and Mr. Satish Katyal, our lighting expert, put gateway paper in front of the light to make it softer. The air conditioning felt good because the harsh lights were not there.
Right.
So it was a whole new world. Like, you feel here, and you felt more easy.
Yeah.
You could wear your light colors,
Right.
lighter saris.
Yeah.
So it was a change. It was a very welcome change.
And you said that when during your first broadcast, when you transitioned from black and white to color, you took 3 sets of clothes, 3 saris. So would you like to share that?
Yes, I was asked by Mr. Bisaria, the then Additional Director General, Mr. Rajnarayan Bisaria, I was approached by the ministry and the powers that be, the director, the ADG. They must have had meetings, and I had become a bilingual announcer by then. Before reading the news, I spoke Hindi, Angrezi, Urdu में. आइए आपको आज के कार्यक्रम से अवगत करा दें, या presentation. Well, we welcome you to this national program, and I would like to tell you about how it's going to be. So Hindi, Angrezi, Urdu में, I was one of the, I won't say only. We had Mukta Srivastav and me, and we were all freelancers. We were not paid, so I'm not getting a pension now, although I've left Doordarshan 30 years ago.
Well, about that.
Yeah, and the most poorly paid. 5 baje aap jaiye for the news at 9. You prepare, you read the news, you read the bulletin, you talk to the news editor. He is the boss of the written word. Sometimes you tell him, sir, isko aisa change kar le. He said yes, and then you go to the whatever news. If there is a visual, you go to the video editor, you match the clip with him, and then you go into the makeup room, get your makeup done. And then those pages, earlier it was pages. Every page had a cardboard. This was a page, and every page was put on a cardboard sheet so that we could move it. I'm looking in front of the camera, and this was placed like this. So I'm reading, and this goes like this, and then You don't read like this. You read like this, one line at a time. And Prime Minister Mr. P.V. Narasimha said in a statement last night that, and this page goes there. And then up and down. If you did this, that means you are distracting the viewer. So it had to be a very fine-tuned kind of a presentation, because we were called news readers and we were reading the news, and one page at a time. So that was quite unnerving, because you had to have your wits about you, you had to look into the camera, you had to read properly. And if you remember Ramu Damodaran, my colleague, he is now with the United Nations for a very long time now. He was known as the boy with the photographic memory. How many of you remember him? Yeah. Lovely, lovely to know. So because he would read, and we all read faster than we speak. It's like a clutch and brake. So हम पढ़ते हैं before we speak. Yeah. So he would look down, read the whole sentence and look up as if he is reading from. Now here I'll tell you a very interesting incident which you talked about, you mentioned. You read as you speak. So once it came, okay, and while you're on it, those days there was no breaking news. Floor manager आके एक आपको very slimily and quietly he'll slip on a piece of paper on your table from the side while the other person is reading. There were two news readers. So you are looking at me, but you can see the board. I am looking at this gentleman here, but I can see the people around. Okay? So I'm looking into the camera and I'm reading my page, and he's slipping this page to me, and I can see that he's telling me, isko abhi padho. Okay. Abhi padho. I can see. So I'm not looking at him because I don't want to be distracted. Right. So I'm reading. I finished one. Since I'm hello, please don't touch my mic. Keep the tone bass and volume high. Volume high, tone bass करिए. Hello, 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 hello. Tone bass, volume high. Tone bass.
अभी रुकावट के लिए बहुत खेद है.
दूरदर्शन के लिए कि वो याद आ गई, रुकावट के लिए खेद है. So this is the interesting part. I'm reading and I'm speaking. मेरा एक पेज खत्म हुआ and I'm seeing, उन्होंने कहा ये जो पेज डाला है इसको अभी पढ़ो. So मैं अभी पढ़ रही हूँ, मैंने पहले नहीं देखा ये पेज. This is breaking news. So I'm reading. Prime Minister Gyani Zail Singh. My mind says no, this sentence is wrong. I'm looking into the camera and I'm saying this sentence is wrong. So what do? Either I read, either I speak and say President Gyani Zail Singh, or I speak Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, because unka zamana tha. Okay. So what my mind tells me, I'm reading Prime Minister Gyani Zail Singh, but I'm speaking President Gyani Zail Singh said this, और नीचे आए Rajiv Gandhi. Oops. ठीक है? Yeah. So it went off well. Wow. After the bulletin was over, the complete bulletin with the soft story and everything, I walked out of the studio, and Mr. Anand Mohan, the producer, comes and pats me and says, Sheila ji, thank you very much, you saved the day for me. I said, no, I didn't save it for you, I saved it for myself. Yeah, that's right. हाँ? शीला चमन को 3 weeks के लिए सस्पेंड कर दो. क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने पढ़ा गलत. But हो सकता है the editor in a hurry may have dictated it wrong. Maybe the typist typed it wrong. But who is reading? The newsreader. So who will get the flack? The newsreader. So if this program is a success, who will get the kudos? Madam Sumita Mishra. Please don't touch my mic. Hello. इसको मत छेड़िए please. So, and if anything should go wrong, God forbid, फिर किसी न किसी को बोलेंगे, well, it was her fault. It always happens. In the end, नाम जाता था produced by. Producer को पता ही नहीं कितनी मेहनत करी हमने न्यूज़ पढ़ने के लिए. But producer, आनंद आज़ाद. ठीक है भैया, all right. So that's how it was those days. And nowadays, of course, everything has changed. Everything is on. I'm a little appalled. Whether you ask me or not, I'll say I'm a little appalled by news readers of various channels. By the way, every single ace news reader on every other channel today has been at some point in time trained by me. And I'm very proud of the fact, very proud. I have pictures in the book. This book speaks a lot. This book is by 11 of us. It speaks a lot.
I do. I will, yeah. So, moving on, Sheila ji. So, you've worked with many wonderful co-anchors. Salma Sultan थी आपके पास में, और आपकी रिनी खन्ना थी, गीतांजलि अय्यर थी. So, how would you, number one, who did you feel the strongest chemistry with? And number two, how would you describe your own on-air style alongside your contemporaries?
Well, we shared a very wonderful relationship. There was no acrimony, no fierce competition. It was a big, wonderful bhaichara. And as I said, we were all freelance artists. None of us was an employee except Salma and Meenu. They were the only two employees. Everyone else took their jobs very seriously, and we were all on a daily wages. But as I said, the most poorly paid, 5 बजे आप न्यूज़ के लिए जा रहे हैं for a 9 p.m. bulletin, where you are rehearsing the news, you're going to the editor, video editor, this, that, and the other. 9 o'clock bulletin हुआ, and then you finish your bulletin, walk out of the studio into to the news desk to sign out and collect your check for 150 rupees. 5 घंटे के काम के लिए. The most poorly paid for the maximum hours of work. And then there is a phone call sometimes waiting for you. शीला जी आपके लिए फ़ोन है ADG साहब का. Yes sir. मैं शशिकांत कपूर. Sir, right sir. I gave the phone back once. It's in the book. I gave the phone back once to the production assistant, and I said, ये एयर कंडीशन रूम्स में बैठ के फाइंड फॉल्ट करते हैं, इनसे कहिए एक दिन यहाँ एक लाइव बुलेटिन फ्लॉलेसली पढ़ के सुना दें 30 मिनट्स का. Two of them, Bhaskar Ghosh and Mr. Ratikant Basu, who wanted to poach us all and take us to Star TV. He did succeed in taking some of us, but I very politely declined. That is also in the book.
But why did you, sorry I'm interrupting here, why did you decline?
Because I felt I was happier with Doordarshan, and I have my strong allegiances, and as I say, I am what I am because of Doordarshan. Everything that we've learned, everything that we are, all of us who had the visibility, all my opportunities that I got to work with film stars, and even writing this book, even being here, is thanks to Doordarshan. So I must say thank you. And again, I'll thank the organizers for inviting me, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
Wait, we have another question. Where are you going? Okay, already. Do we have time?
You
or
can
do we
ask
not?
one question.
One more question. So quickly, I have to ask this question. Is with your reels and clickbait and influencers shaping so much of what we see today, what does a responsible journalism mean to you now? And how has this new landscape changed what we gain or lose as news consumers?
As I said earlier, I think it's very important to have very strict guidelines and to make sure that, of course, not high moral ground, not to walk the high moral ground, but बहुत ज़रूरी है कि आप क्या देख रहे हैं, क्या दिखा रहे हैं, क्या परमिट कर रहे हैं, और जो 1.5 घंटे में पहले दिखाते थे आप 1.5 मिनट में दिखा रहे हैं, उसे बड़ी अच्छी तरह संजीदगी से संजो के अच्छी तरह अपने, so that it leaves a good taste, a very positive taste, and it's important that we, well, for the next generation at least, we leave something. And my book also has tips on how to join the electronic media. It's a good guideline for anyone wanting to join the media, what to do and not to do. So for the Gen X also, apart from nostalgia, there's a lot of tips in this. So I'll be very happy if anyone wants to have an author-signed copy. I'll be delighted to do so. Again, thank you, and I wish the event all success, Mishra. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your attention. Thank you,
And
Radhika.
thank you, ma'am. This was the easiest moderation I've ever done. I really didn't have to do anything much. Sheila Chaman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, ma'am. This was a truly nostalgic session, right from the black and white era. It is for your information that the books of all the authors are available outside, and you can get your copy and get it signed. Please give a huge round of applause for the speakers here. Moving on to our next session. नारी तो खुद की खोज में निकल, तो किस लिए हताश है, तो चल तेरे वजूद की समय को भी तलाश है. Embodying this indomitable